Hello, my name is Darrell,
And my name is Greg.
and you've reached Inside the Mastermind. And what is a mastermind, you may say to yourself? Well, Napoleon Hill defines a mastermind as the coordination of knowledge and effort of two or more people uh, who work toward a definite purpose in the spirit of harmony. And
And here at Inside the Mastermind, we focus on five main areas of life, which are mentally, physically, spiritually, financially, and socially. And we want to improve these areas in our lives, as well as help you, the viewers, do the same and create a meaningful life of abundance and greatness.
yeah, and great. And in this particular episode, what we're talking about is starting with why. Now, for those familiar with Simon Sinek, you may have heard the TED speech. We'll go ahead and post a link to that speech in the description here. But before we get into that, I just got kind of joke and start with why I was kind of talking about purpose. So life purpose. And I wanted to kind of share just a pretty long joke here about purpose here. And so I'm going to go ahead and share that right now. So let's go ahead. So we'll start that off right here. So God created a dog and said, your job is to sit all day at the door of your house and bark at anyone who comes and walks past it. For this, I will give you a lifespan of 20 years. The dog said, that's a long time to be barking. How about 10 years? And I'll give you back the other 10. So God agreed. God created the monkey and said, entertain people, do tricks, and make them laugh. For this, I'll give you 20 years lifespan. Like I said, monkey tricks for 20 years, that's a pretty long time to perform. How about you give back 10, just like the dog did? And God agreed. And God created a cow and said, you must go into the field with the farmer all day long and suffer under the sun, have calves, and give milk to support the farmer's family. For this, I will give you a lifespan of 60 years. The cow said, it's kind of a tough life. You want to live for 60 years. How about make it 20 and I'll give you back the other 40? So God agreed again. God created man and said, eat, sleep, play, marry, and enjoy your life. And for this, I'll give you 20 years. The man said, only 20 years? Could you possibly give me 20 and give me my 20? And the 40 the cow gave back, the 10 the monkey gave back, the 10 the dog gave back, and that makes 80. Would that be okay? God said, sure, that's okay. You asked for it. Go ahead. So that is why, for the first 20 years of our lives, we eat, sleep, play, and enjoy ourselves. For the next 40 years, we slave in the sun to support our family. For the next 10 years, we do monkey tricks to entertain our grandchildren. And for the last 10 years, we sit on the front porch and bark at everyone. So just a kind of a funny story joke that I thought I'd share here. And I guess we could go ahead and jump into the start with why. So if you haven't seen the TED Talk, definitely check out that TED Talk either first or after this conversation. But in that TED Talk, Simon Sinek, the author of the book of the same name, Start With Why, just kind of talks about why different people or different organizations do the things they do. And I guess the general idea that he kind of gave is that there is kind of what's called a golden circle. There are people who kind of start to talk about it, start what they do. Then there are people who, on the outer rim, people talk about what they do. On kind of the middle rim, people talk about how they do different things differently. And then the middle rim, the people who are really making an influence talk about why they do different things. And the comparison that he gives is one comparison that he gives is Apple. And it just kind of talks about we work diligently to design beautiful machines there. and the reason and how we put so much energy into how we do that, and that's why you should go ahead and buy one of our beautiful machines, because we do the best to make top of the line machines. It's kind of what we're about. And Microsoft on the other hand might come with a respect of just like, hey, we build great machines, they work really well, why don't you go ahead and buy them? But usually a company that starts with why comes from a deeper purpose, a deeper meaning. I don't know, what did you think about kind of that conversation or that TED Talk, Greg?
So with me, it's just through few mentors in my life, I was always taught to not worry about the what or the how, but just worry about your why, because your why is what's going to keep you strong and propel you to actually do what you need to do in life. And like, people don't buy, just like he said in the video, people don't necessarily buy the products themselves. They buy your why, or like you, so they attract themselves to you and not what necessarily you have, which what you have will come with that. But yeah, I do agree that it is important that if you have any type of product or service, that you don't just focus strictly on that. You make it more of a relational experience versus a transactional experience. And when you do that, then you will get more customers or clients or business partners or whatever you need. So yeah, I definitely agree, because a lot of people, they actually get too caught up on the what and the how versus the why. It's like, oh, I don't want to do that, or that's not for me, or I tried that before, it didn't work, or I didn't go to school for this. It's like they focus too much on the what or the how, but those what or hows are not going to get them to the life of their dreams, or what they want in life. So you have to see, okay, I want this lifestyle. So if I had to shovel, let's say, wet manure in a paper bag for 5 years, but then after doing it, it gives me the life of my dreams. Am I willing to do that? Or say, no, I'm not going to do that because my friends will make fun of me, or they're going to think it's nasty. But you work hard for 5 years doing that, then you can live the life that most people won't. If you do the things most people won't do, you will live the life that most people will never have. So yeah, that's my take on that.
Yeah, and I guess another aspect of it is kind of, yeah, what drives you, what pulls you along. Not everybody wants to make money, but a lot of people do want to make money. But like, what drives you to make money? Are you driven by the fact that you grew up very poor and like remember being chastised for not having that much money, or are you driven by like, hey, I just kind of want money because everybody, it seems like money would be a cool thing to have. Like, one's a pretty deep meaning. In fact, if we kind of talk about that a little bit, like people who kind of grew up poor, not all of them, obviously, because some continue a system of just lack of wealth and that type of thing. But a lot of people who grew up very poor end up becoming very wealthy, or a better way to say it, I guess, is a lot of people who are very wealthy right now and are self-made grew up under very poor circumstances, kind of made a promise to themselves, or like found their why, like, hey, I will not live in this kind of situation ever again. Like, I'm not going to, this is not acceptable for me anymore. I'm going to go ahead and break the cycle. And some people, not even some people, a lot of people kind of continue a cycle. They are maybe grow up on welfare, or like grow up with parents who didn't manage money that well, and kind of repeat those problems themselves. But if you have a big enough why, if you have enough big enough reason why you're going to do things a little bit differently, then yeah, there's the possibility you're going to go ahead and kind of break through. Like, for example, Howard Schultz, I believe, is the CEO of Starbucks, or the founder of Starbucks. He might not be CEO by the time we do this, because he was CEO for a little bit. Anyway, but he grew up in a very poor situation, and now that he's kind of came up with the Starbucks brand, or bought the Starbucks brand and kind of built it from just a small local coffee shop in Seattle to basically a worldwide dominating institution there. So it's just, and I think the same goes for things like the Sam Walton. I think kind of had a similar experience, like didn't come from that wealthy of a background. Rockefeller, for example, if you ever read his story, the Rockefeller family, he had a dad who was just kind of a never do well, and a mother who like tried her best to like keep the family together and stuff. And he kind of made a promise to himself at a very young age, like, "Hey, I'm going to get very well." I think the promise that Rockefeller made to himself, from reading his biography, one of his biographies anyway, is that he was going to make $100,000 at some point. And this is back in the 1900s when $100,000 was like $1 million or something like that. He's like, one day I'm going to make $100,000. He ended up making $1 billion in the 1900s there, like 1910s, 1920s, because he was so focused. He had such a strong why. He's like, I will make this happen, and he did. He made this 100,000, and then he went way past that. So yeah, it's kind of important to have a why. I mean, maybe you could talk about like physical health there or spiritual health there as well. I don't know if you wanted to jump in at a point with that, Greg. I could say a couple things on that, but I'll throw it to you before I start going on a rant real quick.
Okay. No, yeah, but just kind of add on to what you were just talking about is as far as like, with Rockefeller, even Henry Ford and the Wright brothers, it's when they had an idea, Henry Ford said, well, I want to make a car affordable for the average American, not just the wealthy. And people laughed at him, say, you're stupid, you're going to go broke. But he had a strong enough why and a definiteness of purpose to actually go through that negativity and prospered. And now, most people have cars and it's common. And then the Wright brothers, they said they wanted to fly, and they were called heretics. People wanted to burn them at the stake because they said men are not meant to fly. And again, they had a strong enough why, definiteness of purpose, created the first airplane. Now look, we could get anywhere in the world within 24 hours, roughly, just because of that strong why. And they say, well, other people said it's not okay, so I'm not going to do it. And that's the one thing I think a lot of people, even today, actually let get to them, to where they have an idea or some type of dream. They let other people kill their dreams, and those other people have never even dealt with what they're trying to accomplish. So you just got to be very careful. If you have a desire that's weird or different, you're going to have people come out the woodworks trying to pull you back down and cause you to not want to pursue that idea. But you got to be able to be strong, go through that resistance, that gravity, and be able to just manifest what you want. So it all starts with that why. You got to have a strong enough why to get through those hard times, because it's going to be hard. It's going to be times you don't want to do it. You're going to be tired. You're going to want to give up, but you keep that why in front of you, you'll be okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So I guess that's kind of where we're at with this, is just figure out, I guess the audience homework for this week would be, yeah, like find out your why. What is your why? What drives you to kind of do what it is you do, or like aim for the goals that you're aiming for right now? Is it like a person in your life that kind of pushes you there? Is it like the way you were treated in the past? Is it like is it something that is at your gut, or is it just because, hey, I think this would be kind of nice? I mean, kind of nice might not really drive you as much as like something that you feel passionately about. So with that, we could probably go ahead and wrap up this episode. Where I'm not sure if we had any quotes or quotations we wanted to share this week.
Yeah, so the quote I have for today, I'm not sure who it comes from, but it goes, uh, when you know why you do what you do, even the toughest times become easier. So it's a very simple quote, but I definitely think it's true, just like what we were discussing before, where tough times will become easy as long as you know why you're doing what you're doing. You see the vision and have that. And again, it doesn't matter what other people, now, you take family and friends' opinions with a grain of salt and appreciate their opinions because they love you and they only are trying to protect you. But again, that can actually be, you know, it can hold you back from accomplishing greatness. So just keep that with a grain of salt. Also, if you guys, what I'll add is if you guys want to join a mastermind group like this, also Darrell is accepting applications. So you have the link in the description below. Go ahead and click on that and take you to a page. You put your information in, then you can connect with Darrell. He'll let you know what we're looking for people to join this mastermind group. So yeah, just submit your application within the description below. The link will be there.
Thank you, Gray. And if you are looking for a blog or resource on how to kind of get closer to your goals, get some motivation at the same time, definitely have to recommend checking out Greg's blog, which is planetgreenzen.com. Again, that's planetgreenzen.com. It's got some wonderful resources, motivational resources, and resources for physical health as well. So go ahead and check out his blog and go from there. And with that, I think we'll go ahead and wrap up this episode of Inside the Mastermind. If you enjoyed this episode, please go ahead and share it with your friends. Subscribe to our channel. If you did not enjoy this, please go ahead and reach out to us. Let us know how we can improve. With that, that has been this episode of Inside the Mastermind. Thank you so much.
Alrighty, bye guys.
Bye-bye.